15 years ago, I bought a pellet grill. It was my first one. I bought it at Costco, and I knew, thanks to Costco's wonderful return policy, that if I didn't like it, I could return it. So for 3 weeks, I beat that thing up, I cooked on it, and 3 weeks later, I took it back. And for the next 12 years, friends, family, anyone who asked me about barbecue, I told them one thing: whatever you do not buy a pellet grill. There's a lot of things they don't do well. Stay away. And then, just over 3 years ago, I tried a couple more. I'm on my third one that I've had for the last 3 years. And today, talk about a 180, I'm gonna share with you the 5 things that I love about a pellet grill. What's up, barbecue fans? Welcome back to Patio. My name's Jake. You're watching Roman Cook. Today we're talking about the 5 things that I love about a pellet grill. As you know, I've had my Yoder for around 3 years. If you don't know, that means you're not subscribed. You should do so below. However, today I'm breaking down the 5 things that I love about a pellet grill. And as I said in my intro, I mean, there was a time there where I hated pellet grills. In fact, I told everyone not to get one. But technology changed. I opened my eyes. And there are some things that I love about a pellet grill, and we're gonna break them down right now. Number 1, ease of use. And this is the one that probably gets most people looking at a pellet grill or a pellet smoker to begin with. Maybe you've got young kids and you don't have time. Maybe you work a lot of hours and you don't have time. Or maybe you just don't have any interest in playing with the fire and you just want to have some smoked food. Pellet grills shine there, right? All we gotta do, we put some pellets in our hopper here, fill this guy up, we turn our power on, we turn our dial, we set our temperature, we let it preheat, we throw our food on, and we walk away. As long as you've got pellets in there and your temperature set where you want it, there is nothing else to do. It's super easy to use. And there's a lot to be said about that. Number 2, indirect cooking. So how does a pellet grill work? Typically, we have a hopper, funnels into a firebox, some type of igniter lights the pellets, they get burning, you've got a live fire there, and then the controllers feed pellets in there depending on your set temperature. Then what you have is you have a diffuser plate that goes and covers up that firebox. So the flames are hitting the diffuser. There's usually 1 or 2 fans inside your pellet grill. They're rotating around the smoke and the heat, and the flames never touch the meat. It's very much like a convection oven. But what happens there? We look at things like marinated chicken, which is one of my favorite things to cook on my Yoder. I do it multiple times a week. And the reason for that is that I can marinate chicken. Chicken doesn't always have the most flavor, but if you marinate it overnight, it can be delicious. So I have a whole bunch of different marinades I like. I will marinate my chicken. I will dial this thing up to 450, 475. And because there's no direct flame contact, I throw my chicken on there. I don't get any of my marinated burnt. I wait 10 minutes. I flip it over, wait another 8 minutes, depending on the size of the breast, pull it off, and I'm done. I don't have to babysit it. I don't have marinated that is burnt, but I still get a little bit of char on there because it is cooking over some high heat. But you know, chicken likes to be cooked hot and fast to get it super juicy. If you're doing that over direct flame, it's very difficult to do because what happens is you char the outside and the inside is still raw. On a pellet grill, you get that advantage of indirect cooking, so you can still get a good sear on your meat, but you can use marinades and they won't burn, and you're gonna turn out a delicious tasting product. Number 3, versatility. Now, the one thing about pellet grills that's really changed since I first looked at them is now you have brands that go higher in temperature, right? Back in the day, some of them just had high, medium, and low or whatever, and they had little stages in between. There was no temperature dials, but a lot of them peaked out at like 450. And then they got up to 500. Well, the Yoder goes up to 600. So one of my biggest pet peeves about a pellet grill when I first tried it is you couldn't sear anything. And you could maybe use cast iron or something like that to get a little bit of a sear on them, but they didn't get hot enough to do a great job at it. And you know, as someone who cooks a lot of burgers, a lot of steaks, I need to be able to sear. A steak is not a steak unless it's got a good sear on it, and you could not do that. So not only does this go up to 600 degrees, we can also remove our diffuser plate and get direct access to that fire. So now you can grill over the fire, you get some grill grates, sear your meat over that. In a recent video, I did half chickens, and what I did is I removed my diffuser plate here, and I had the chicken on the top rack, and I still got some delicious sear. So now, today, things have changed a lot, and you've got some versatility. So we can do, the Yoder will go as low as 150, and it'll go up to 600 degrees. Once it's at 600 degrees, it's just feeding in pellets like crazy. You use some grill grates, you're gonna get up to upwards of 800 degrees pretty darn easily. So now we've got a lot of versatility. We can almost do a cold smoke, we can smoke. You can do some bacon in there, you can do some grilling, and you can even pull off a pizza or calzone. They're not the best compared to some of the other options, but it's not too bad. You know, play with it and you can do a lot of different things, but they're definitely more versatile than they used to be, and that's one of the things I appreciate about them. Number 4, accessories. And I think this is important because they've come a long way, and for the Yoder specifically, we've got a few things that I really do like. Number 1, we've got a griddle. I did a video on smash burgers that was absolutely delicious. We're doing a video on fajitas here real soon. But essentially what happens is we can open this up and we can turn this half into a griddle. You can make some breakfast, bacon, whatever you want. Anything you want to cook on a griddle, we've got that accessory. Just gives you some more flexibility on your pellet grill. We also, if you live in the colder months, but you're like me and you like to cook all year round, there is a thermal jacket that goes around that, you know, the first time I used it, I was like, it makes a decent difference. And then my last video on it, actually had like freezing rain and really, really cold temperatures. And I was actually amazed at the difference it made. So if you live in a cold climate, you definitely want to look at that. And then we get into grill grates, which I don't care what brand of pellet grill you have, grill grates are a game changer. They're made out of aluminum. They heat much higher and easier, so you can get some nice grill grates, or sorry, grill marks from your grill grates. I got it. Those are something you should have. They make them in all different sizes, even for like some kettles and things like that. So check out grillgrates.com. Those are something that you should have. But so we've got some decent accessories. Now, as I'm recording this today, at BBQ just had their first video on the new pizza oven, which I'm dying to get my hands on. I gotta tell you, that thing looks amazing. That's right, you heard it, a pizza oven. And I don't want to get into how it works, but you can check out that video on it. But essentially, we can get our pizza stone up to like 650, 700 degrees, and the top's around 650. It'll get up to like 800 degrees, and you can do a legitimate pizza or calzone. One of the things I've done on this guy a little bit, struggled with a little bit, I think that's going to be a game changer. So hopefully, I'll be able to show you how that one works soon. Number 5, I work in IT. I'm a technology junkie, not as much as I was when I was younger, but I still like technology. And one of the things about a pellet grill is that you get to leverage technology, right? On this particular one, they've partnered with Fireboard. So what happens is we've got a controller in here, we've got 2 meat thermometers, we've got a pip probe, so you can set your temperature in there, and then you can put your probes in, and now on my phone, I can see my cook. So if I've got a roast on or something and I've got some company coming over and I'm looking at my cook and I'm like, ooh, they're gonna be here in an hour and a half, I need to rush this on. I can be inside doing whatever, probably have a rum and Coke. Maybe I'm cleaning, but I can sit there with the app and I can turn it up a little bit to fast track a little bit. Additionally, I can program it. So I did a video a while back about the no-work brisket. And we had the brisket go overnight at like 190 or 200. And then in the morning, I turned it up to 250 or 275. I can't remember which way I went. But I programmed that in is that once it hit 200 degrees or 201, I told it to go back down to 165 so that it would go into warming mode. That would allow it to carry over and then sit and rest until I got back home. And on that particular day, I went out and ran errands, and I came home, I just had a brisket, I took it off, I let it rest for another hour, and away it went, and I didn't have to babysit it. So there's something nice about that for technology. It just, it's helpful. You have 2 pip probes, as I mentioned, and you can look at the temperature of what's going on. And when I can just go on my phone, I can adjust temperatures, or I can program things. I think that that's great. Do I use it all the time? No. But there's lots of times I'm sitting inside and I'm like, all right, is my pellet grill preheated? And I'll look at what the temperature is, and I can see it's got a chart there and it says, all right, it got to 450 10 minutes ago. I'm gonna let it preheat for another 5-10 minutes, and then I'm gonna go throw on my chicken. So I really do like the technology aspect of it, and I think it's just something that the pellet grill brings to the table that no one else has. So there's the 5 things that I love about a pellet grill. Now I gotta tell you, 4 years ago, I would have never thought in a million years I would record a video like this. I mean, YouTube wasn't even on my mind, but I would have never been pro pellet grill. I still hated them at that aspect. I was like, there is no way I will ever own one. And now, you know, you fast forward, I've had my Yoder for 3 years, and there's a lot of things that I do like about it. Is it perfect? No. There's a reason why I have an offset and I have another one. I like to tinker and cook different things, and they give me different smoke profiles that this can't give me. However, if you watch my 11 secrets to maximizing smoke on a pellet grill, you can pull off some pretty darn amazing food on here. So if you're in the market, do your research. It all depends how much time you have, right? Some of us don't have time to sit and babysit an offset all day. I mean, I'll tell you what, the flavor that comes off an offset, until I did it myself, I had no idea just how good barbecue could be. I mean, there's a reason why it's such a big thing. But I also learned just how much work it is. So you got to figure out what works for you. Hopefully you found this video valuable. If you're not subscribed yet, do so below. If you haven't checked out my new shirts, I got 20 of them down below. Help support the channel. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you soon.